Inter have inquired about the availability of Manchester United defender Dijon Bernard. This according to Italian news outlet Tuttomercato Web, who report that the Nerazzurri have identified the 21-year-old Englishman as a target on loan, and that they are not the only club to have shown interest in him. Bernard joined United's youth academy from that of Chelsea in 2017, and has developed with the Red Devils ever since, having spent last season on loan in the Championship with Hull City after being loaned out to Salford City the season prior. The 21-year-old is not in United manager Erik ten Hag's plans for the current season, and what happens with his future remains to be seen, but it is likely that he'll be loaned out to continue his development after a promising campaign with Hull. Inter are among the teams to have come forward about loaning Bernard, as they continue to search for one more defender to reinforce their defensive depth before the transfer window closes. Inter are getting very close to signing Francesco Acerbi from Lazio on a loan deal, but they're still waiting to see if there are any developments in the situation of Borussia Dortmund's Manuel Akanji before they complete the deal. This according to the online edition of Milan-based newspaper Corriere della Sera, via FC Internews, who report that the Nerazzurri are not yet finalizing the deal to sign Acerbi, as they want to wait a little longer to see what happens with Akanji. Everything is in place as far as an agreement to sign Acerbi on a loan deal with a purchase option for Inter. And they could finally wrap up the deal soon after the 34-year-old's agent Federico Pastorello convinced Lazio to sanction the deal. However, the possibility of signing either Akanji or Chelsea's Nathaniel Chalobah is not entirely out of sight yet for the Nerazzurri, and so for the time being Inter CEO Beppe Marotta and sporting director Piero Azzilio are continuing to wait before they commit to signing Acerbi. Inter are set to announce 2 new marketing partnerships soon, with the Nerazzurri ready to agree deals with Kopron and Attal Group. This according to Italian news outlet FC Internews, who report that the announcements should be on the way soon as the Nerazzurri continue to look for new partners to monetize the marketing side of the club and expand their reach off of the pitch. Inter have already agreed several new marketing partnerships in the recent past, including some regional partners in Asia, as well as a deal with Hisense Italia. Kopron is a construction logistics company which has already worked with the Nerazzurri in the past, whilst Attal Group is a company which researches and manages human resources, and takes over from Manpower whose contract with the club expired. Both companies' logos have already been seen in LED lights at the San Siro during the Nerazzurri's clash with Spezia on Friday. Italian journalist Matteo Morani believes that Inter have reinforced their squad in the summer transfer window without losing anything from last season. Speaking to Italian broadcaster Sky Sport Italia, Morani gave his thoughts on the Nerazzurri's summer window, and expressed the view that their business in the transfer market has improved the team without any sacrificing. Inter lost wingback Ivan Perisic on a free transfer window at the start of the summer, but after that have not seen any players from last season's starting 11 depart the club despite a lot of speculation that a big sale could be on the way. In the meantime, players who had been on the fringe of the plans last time around left the club to be replaced by new signings who had depth and fit profiles wanted by coach Simone Inzaghi, whilst the big-name return of Romelu Lukaku could take the attack over the edge. Morani stated that Inter haven't lost anything during the window, but they've added a lot of quality. Inter striker Lautaro Martinez is now valued at €100 million, and he would have absolutely no intention of leaving the Nerazzurri despite transfer interest. This according to Italian broadcaster Sport Mediaset, who report that the Argentine is seen as the face of the club by President Zhang, and there would be great reluctance to let him go for anything less than a triple-digit sum. Martinez has been linked with a number of Europe's top clubs since joining the Nerazzurri in the summer of 2018. With Barcelona and Atletico Madrid persistent links, whilst big Premier League clubs such as Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, and Arsenal have all shown interest. However, the Nerazzurri have never been convinced by any offers for the 25-year-old, and he has remained at the club where his value has only risen over his time at the club. Inter president Zhang has managed to strengthen the team by keeping hold of both Milan Skriniar and Dumfries, while also making significant additions in the transfer market this summer. This according to today's print edition of Milan-based newspaper Corriere della Sera, who argue that the Nerazzurri president has allowed the team to become stronger by prioritizing keeping their best players while also signing Romelu Lukaku to add quality to the attack. Inter had gone into the summer transfer window with many expecting a big-name sale to be on the way in order to meet financial targets set by the owners. And for much of the summer it has looked like one way or another a top player would go, with Skriniar having looked the likely candidate. However, a number of circumstances have made it the case that the club decided that keeping Skriniar, as well as Chelsea target Denzel Dumfries, had to be prioritized, with Zhang giving the final authorization to take both players off of the transfer market. Legendary former Inter defender Beppe Bergami believes that Romelu Lukaku's return to Inter is key to giving the Nerazzurri a new versatility to their attack. Speaking to Italian broadcaster Sky Sport Italia, Bergami gave the view that the Belgian is not yet at his best physically, but that already he has shown that he can be at the very center of this Inter team's attack, and that his style gives them something entirely new compared to last season. Lukaku joins an Inter that had given itself a very different look under Simone Inzaghi in his absence last season. And some questions had been asked about whether the 29-year-old would be able to slot right into the forward line given the changes that had taken place. Bergami gave the view that Lukaku is not yet at his best physical condition. On the contrary, in my opinion, he's still struggling. But he gives you a threat in behind, he gives you an edge, he attracts many opposition defender, and this it allows you to build a different style of play. Chelsea would be open to allowing defender Trevoh Chalobah go out on loan this season, with Inter one of the teams interested in him, but only to a team where he would receive regular playing time. This according to today's print edition of Turin-based newspaper Tuttosport, who report that the Nerazzurri could have to convince the Blues that they would be a suitable environment for the 23-year-old to continue his development in order to get a deal done. Inter have identified Chalobah as one of their targets to add depth to the backline for the final days of the transfer window. And an arrangement could be worked out given that Chelsea would be open to sending him out on a dry loan. The Blues do not want to lose control of the Englishman's future and so prefer a season-long loan move over a permanent deal, which would suit Inter fine as they want a low-cost signing and a loan would be perfect. However, Chelsea would also want any loan for Chalobah to be to a club where he would get regular minutes in order to take another step forward, and it is unclear if Inter could offer him a prominent enough role or if he would purely be a backup option.